The C&M Seeds Wheat School is brought to you by Bear Crop Science. Steve, whereabouts do you farm?
We're headquartered in Elsa Craig, Ontario, which is about 20 miles north of London, City of London, Ontario. Most of our land base is in the Elsa Craig area, although we've got pockets south of London and east of London, so we're consistently in the urban shadow of the City of London.
Steve, you're in a very highly productive area here just outside of London. Why is wheat in your rotation?
I guess first and foremost, it's actually a cash crop for us. It's traditionally in some areas has been a filler crop between the cash crops, but we've been able to make it pay off. We feel that it provides not just the economic benefits, but also there's a lot of agronomic benefits to it. It breaks up our cycle and our ground so that we can get a red clover crop down or a cover crop down, which allows us to cut back on our nitrogen use in the following year's corn crop. It provides a timetable when the ground's not usually wet, where we get a manure spread without worrying about compaction issues or mitigating our compaction issues, and provides straw for some of the other users in the area, whether it is livestock or poultry or mushrooms or straw.
So, for the guys that aren't planting wheat in Ontario, what can you say to them in terms of what are they missing, like in terms of the whole package in terms of crop rotation?
I think their yields are probably suffering if they look over all of the crops that they've been growing, because it allows a chance to get a lot of organic matter back into the soil, notwithstanding the straw that may have been harvested off. There's a lot of root mass there, and a lot of the chaff gets spread back on the ground. It gives us a chance to put our fertilizer back on the ground for the following year's corn crop. Traditionally, corn would follow it, so it allows us a chance to spread P&K down in the fall, again, mitigating any compaction issues. I think folks that aren't growing wheat are missing out on that. Plus it gives the soil a little bit of a rest. Beans can be a little tough on ground. They pull a lot out of the soil, and a corn crop, the yields we've been getting the last few years, does the same thing, whereas wheat allows us to put something back.
Steve, on your farm, why do you use certified seed?
There's been a lot of changes in genetics over the years, and everything has been an incremental improvement, either in yield or quality or disease resistance, any number of factors, agronomic or market-wise too. So we've tended to try to be on the leading edge of the genetics to be in the game for the long run. Being a pedigreed seed grower ourselves, there's maybe a vested interest in that, but we've also seen tremendous reward for and value at stake in the certified seed. The idea of having increased production on the same acreage, it makes us more competitive.
So do you think that new genetics or improved genetics are a key part of increasing profitability on your farm then?
I think in southern Ontario here, we're very fortunate to have a climate and soils and infrastructure especially to handle different market classes of wheat. And so by having the right genetics for the right field, as we talked about in the production side of things, I think it provides tremendous value because it's all part of diversifying your farm. So we're in a diversified area. If we can grow different market classes and have the different genetics that are better suited within each class, it only makes us more competitive as growers in this province.
So Steve, on your farm, when you so obviously you've got wheat in the rotation, is there certain land types or certain areas that are better for certain classes?
For 12 acre farms, we definitely have a number of different soil types, just because of our geographically the way we're spread out. We find that the hard reds are doing much better on some of the loamier parcels of dirt. The heavier soils is where we tend to put our soft reds. Again, it just has to be certain genetics though. There can be quite a broad section of adaptability on the different classes. Our spring wheats tend to go on our lighter farms just because we can get on those planted earlier in the spring. And drainage obviously has a big role to play in a lot of the wheat production also. Most of our farms are all systematically tiled, and we find that getting that early planting helps a lot. Survivability also becomes an issue too. The hard reds, even though they tend to germinate a little bit slower, tend to have a little better survivability overall than some of the soft reds do, although that's just a personal judgment call.
Is there a class that's been by far the most profitable for you on the farm?
Definitely it's been the hard reds. Since we were able to market and contract whenever we feel it's to our advantage. coupled with a bit of a protein advantage, usually on our hard reds, it's traditionally been our best, most economic return, our best return.
So in terms of, so if you take hard red, which being the most profitable class for you, how do you go about marketing that crop in the hard reds?
We've got a competitive industry in Southern Ontario here for our different classes of wheat, and so it comes down to also having end users nearby. So that provides a bit of an added advantage to us. As far as marketing ourselves, we tend to be pretty basic on it. When the crop is planted, we've got contracts in place, and we're hedging ourselves as we provide more inputs to the crop. We tend to sell. We're not trying to hit home runs, we're just trying to beat the average. And so we do a lot of incremental selling. And there's certain periods of the year when there's advantages, there's some seasonality to it, although I feel that that's not as big a factor today as it was maybe 5 years ago or even 3 years ago. And notwithstanding that, there's always these outliers like what's happening currently in Eastern Europe and parts of Europe and what's happening in Western Canada on the spring wheat side. So you have to always have enough crop in your back pocket to take advantage of those. However, most of our sales are done just on an incremental basis, pretty seasonally throughout the year.